Meanwhile, tomorrow, attorneys for Governor Newsom will be facing off with President Trump's attorneys about whether the president has the legal authority to deploy the National Guard to the streets of L.A.
Thursday, a federal judge, you might remember, ruled the president overstepped his authority, but the president has appealed. KRON 4's Dan Kerman has more on what to expect from tomorrow's hearing.
The concern is that we don't want to live in a military state. We don't want to live in a state where the president can send troops to civilian life whenever he wants to.
Constitutional law professor Rory Little with UC Law San Francisco says that's at the heart of the lawsuit the governor has filed against the president over his deployment of National Guard troops to the streets of Los Angeles. Last Thursday, U.S. District Court Judge Charles Breyer ruled President Trump didn't meet the statutory requirements to do that, and he issued a temporary restraining order, but the Trump administration immediately appealed. On Tuesday, a three-judge panel at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will consider the issue.
The government will have to persuade the panel that one of the statutory reasons that allows the federalization of National Guard, one of those reasons exists, and Judge Breyer found that they did not exist. And then they'll also have to decide what to do about the fact that the statute requires that the order to federalize the National Guard must go, quote, through the governor, close quote. And it is undisputed that this order from President Trump did not go through the governor.
Little says Judge Breyer's 36-page order is thorough and could be hard to overrule, but that doesn't mean it won't happen.
The politics of a panel that has two judges, relatively young judges appointed by President Trump, may lean towards ruling for President Trump. There isn't any doubt that this is going to go up to the Supreme Court no matter which way the panel decides.
But the Supreme Court taking the case, especially regarding a temporary restraining order, isn't a sure thing.
If the Supreme Court wants to get involved, they could stop everything and set it for further proceedings. That's kind of within their discretion, but they could also just deny everything.
If the case is returned to the lower court, a hearing will be held where further evidence will be presented, a decision will be made, and that again can be appealed to the Ninth Circuit and ultimately to the U.S. Supreme Court.
This is a very important constitutional moment about what is the president's authority here. And it's a dangerous moment if the president is given this authority because it's very unclear where that authority will then stop.
Dan Kerman, KRON 4 News.